Point is you need to be consistent with your prep. Like I made sure every day, okay, I'll just put in 45 minutes, but I'll make sure that I at least open my laptop, solve a few questions so that I'm in touch with the syllabus. Initially, when I started my prep, I was just looking at the free materials on YouTube and internet, and no way I was able to do verbal, not even one question.
Okay.
Then I went to top and I started watching Sandeep sir's lectures. I really liked his octave theory. Uh, it really helps you break down the RC passages, like super complex passages. Honestly, there were times I didn't even understand a word, but still with the strategies, the you can identify the tone, you can identify the author's opinion and everything, and it becomes quite simple to answer the questions afterward. So
Anirudh has been a student, and he recently, within this week itself, he scored a 745. What it takes to score a 100 percentile, let's hear from him. Hey Anirudh, hi. So, how are you this morning?
hi sir, like really glad finally done with GMAT.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
And 100 percentile must feel great. So,
yes.
let me ask you, Anirudh, what did it take you? I mean, was it really that, there are two, three things that sometimes people don't become very consistent with the studies. Sometimes they
Right.
think they take things casually. Sometimes they don't do the mock portal. Sometimes they feel that the exam will not be so difficult. Sometimes they get stuck with one topic that, okay, critical reasoning is not happening, or this DI, like whatever. So let's understand your journey, and these people who are listening to you right now are going to start the GMAT preparation very soon. So what would be your message for them? Let's start from there.
So firstly, my message will be consistency.
Mhm.
For this exam, this is a very different exam for us Indians because we are not used to this type of format, the time pressure and everything. So first point is you need to be consistent with your prep. Like I made sure every day, okay, I'll just put in 45 minutes, but I'll make sure that I at least open my laptop, solve a few questions so that I'm in touch with the syllabus. And like I don't break the momentum because
Mhm.
momentum I thought is very important for this exam.
Right.
Secondly, I think good guidance is another very big factor.
Mhm.
Like even I took guidance from Sandeep, so I bought the video lectures, the bridge course, and everything, and definitely that helped a lot. Like the material is very structured, firstly, and the questions, although they seemed tough at that time, but during the exam day, I was quite happy I practiced top material because then the exam felt easier to me.
All right. All
So
right.
structured guidance is another very important factor.
All
Structured guidance and materials. Yeah. So I think these two are my top points.
all right. A lot of Indian students, as you know, struggle with verbal, and they just don't
Hmm.
seem to have a strategy at all. Like hit or miss. हो गया सही तो हो गया नहीं तो खराब. मतलब, so what did you feel about verbal strategies here? Did they make your preparation very structured, and did they give you thinking? Like I always say, even if you don't understand a word in a passage, you can still crack it with the approach. So tell us with the experience with verbal here.
So initially, when I started my prep, I was just looking at the free materials on YouTube and internet, and no way I was able to do verbal, not even one question.
Okay.
Then I went to top and I started watching Sandeep sir's lectures. I really liked his octave theory. Uh, it really helps you break down the RC passages, like super complex passages. Honestly, there were times I didn't even understand a word, but still with the strategies, the you can identify the tone, you can identify the author's opinion and everything, and it becomes quite simple to answer the questions afterward. And personally, on the exam day as well, I faced the RC passage on which I spent a considerable amount of time, and I wasn't able to understand it completely. But using sir's strategies, it ensured that I got the right answer.
All right. So you will say that even if you don't understand a passage, even during the exam day, if you have
Right,
practiced RC with octave enough, this can be cracked.
right.
Also, a lot of people struggle with pacing and speed and data
Hmm.
insights section. So was that a challenge for you as well? Because I'm talking very specific stuff because these people are not completely attuned to the idea of GMAT. So did you face that, and how did you really conquer that speed?
So honestly, I think the only answer for this question is practice.
Mhm.
Because data insights itself is not very difficult. It's not something that you can't solve. It's just that the time pressure is so much, you bound to make mistakes, and in the end, you just you're bound to hurry yourself.
Hmm.
So my suggestion would be you need to practice a lot.
Right.
And for example, while I was practicing from the top portal, we have topic-wise tests. Like for two-part analysis, there's a separate test. For graphs and tables, there's a separate test. So you can practice the areas you feel you're weak at. That's personally what I did. And yeah, I think DI is just a mix of verbal and quant. So there's nothing extra that you can do. It's just practice. Yeah,
All right, all right. And you got ample practice from our portal for the
right,
data insights section.
right.
Also, some people, and you also did because we had a little conversation also. Why would some people take, let's say, the test portal a little casually, which you also did? And what did you
Mhm,
realize? We have made it very tough looking, but did that really help? Like, let's get that. And please be a bit more elaborate about it because some people rush the exam. They feel I'm ready.
mhm,
Some people study the wrong kind of content to make them feel like super confident, and then the exam is
mhm.
a disaster sometimes. So just take us through this, please.
So initially, when I gave my first attempt, I I had prepared for GMAT, but then also I thought, okay, I've prepared for JEE, I've passed my college exam, and this exam doesn't look that difficult, honestly. So I
Mhm.
didn't focus a lot on the mock tests, mock exams, and after my first attempt, I realized, okay, that it is important to practice a lot of mocks, because practicing is one thing, and practicing with time under that time pressure is another thing. And giving those three sections at a time together, it really exhausts you.
Right.
Then I made another mistake, so I started giving top portals mocks, and I was scoring quite low. So I was feeling disheartened and demotivated because the questions were tough.
Mhm.
And then I switched to the official mocks, which were done by MBA.com. So my thinking was that this should be the closest proxy to the actual exam, because the same company that's making the exam as well as the mocks. But again, I was quite baffled on the exam because the exam was way tougher than I expected. And then I 100% with full dedication just did top 1% mocks, and I got the score. Although the mocks were tougher, but that helped me on the actual test day.
All right. So describe your exam experience. First of all, did you find anything unusual in this 100 percentile attempt of yours? Like completely baffling you that this was not at all understood, or like even some mistakes always happen, by the way. But
Hmm.
did they really, really stumble you altogether? Please tell.
No, during my entire attempt, there wasn't anything which like completely stumbled me. Okay, there were a few places where I hit a speed bump, but yeah, there was nothing that I couldn't do.
Okay. So what would be your message as to, let's say right now, if somebody is starting and let's say three months, 3.5 months is the goal and then hitting round one,
Hmm.
what would be your advice? Like how should they be able to stick to it? Let's say, do they have to customize the plan? Should they focus more on the weaker areas? Like whatever, anything that you would like to tell, please.
Okay, so after purchasing top course, I feel one suggestion would be just follow Sir's guidance. It's a very well laid Excel or a PDF. I still remember.
Mhm.
Each and every step is detailed, like what you should do now, what you should do afterwards, which course should you do first. And
Right.
definitely, you should focus a lot more on your weaker areas. For me personally, quant was my strength. So I just did quant. I practiced its mocks. I practiced the sectional tests. But for me, verbal was my weaker section. So verbal, I practiced extensively. I solved each and every PDF that Sir had provided. And I used to, while traveling to the office, I used to solve verbal sitting in the metro train, because I personally felt I was weak at verbal. So I need to practice more.
So you have to make it like part of your life in a way for a
Right,
few months, is what you're saying.
right.
And while preparing, did you have days when you just couldn't study, or was because this is a general problem
Mhm.
faced by people who are working, especially in high intensity roles. Did you also have those roadblock days, or did you feel depressed also sometimes? That consistency was like all over the place. Was it a problem, or you didn't face this?
Sure, that I think that problem with everyone, because in your mid 20s you have a lot of other commitments. You
Right.
have your office, you have your friends, you have family, you have your friends getting married. So okay,
Mhm.
there you will hit speed bumps, but all you have to do is just ensure, okay, if you have a hectic week in the office, just once in a while open the GMAT material, give a few sectional tests. It will just take 45 minutes, so that you're just in touch with the materials. And on weekends, you can definitely cover up.
And on average, what should be the study hours? I generally say 3 hours a day if you study on average. So that is good.
Mhm.
So even on days when you could not study, 45 minutes is something that you ensured. But
Yeah.
average study time a day, like what would you say?
Average study time, I would, on weekdays, I would take out 2 hours.
Mhm.
And on weekends, I would try to sit for 7 to 8 hours.
So that is
But
kind
that
of
was,
3 hours a week at least that you are
yeah,
ensuring average. Average. Yeah.
right. And I would just ensure that my weekend hours are uninterrupted. I could just
Hmm.
give my test sectionals of full length at one stretch without any breaks, like just mimic the real exam environment.
And what was the feeling when you finally scored 100 percentile? Like you said, it was a lot of relief, but I'm sure happiness as well. So just describe that moment.
So I still remember when I clicked the finish button and the score flashed on the screen, I was just super happy. I could have screamed then and there, but I knew, okay, I'm in a test center. But yes, I was quite glad. It has been a good journey, a difficult one, definitely. But yeah, finally it feels better to move on to the next stage.
All right, Anirudh. We'll continue the discussion some other time as well. I might invite you in one more session at length. But for now, thank you so much. And first of all, extreme congratulations, first of all, because once you score, you can focus on the admissions with no worry at all. Like
Right,
somebody getting a 695 will always have this iffy moments. Apply to
right.
kar rahe hain hum, but hoga nahi hoga. But in your case, the score will not at all be a hurdle. So fantastic achievement. All right. See you then soon. And I might invite you for another session. So, yeah, bye bye for now.
All right. Thank you.